We're going to do this. We're going to reach out to you. We're coming to somewhere near you, Circle, the Kwame Nkrumah Circle area. My colleague Ernest Kojomenu is going to be out and about. He's going to be sampling some views of people like you, ordinary folk out there. What exactly does this mean to you? You look at the measures that have been brought to bear, discretionary spending being cut further by an additional 10%. And the fact about the fuel coupons, you heard Duncan Amwa saying there that they should be scrapped in totality. He was expecting that Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta would actually himself say, I am setting an example and I am going to scrap it, even as an individual, for symbolic purposes. But that didn't happen. As you can see, more measures in there. Government, eliminating ghost workers from the government's payroll, imposing a complete moratorium on the purchase of imported vehicles for the rest of the year. But it has also been said that the purchases that have already been made, those en route, will still come into the country. But of course, it means henceforth, no more purchases will be made. There's also, when you look at point 5, a moratorium has also been imposed on all foreign travel except pre-approved critical or statutory travels. And this one is interesting. It means that a lot of the travel is going to be curtailed, especially in these times of COVID-19 and virtual engagements. I believe that is an area where we can cut down, scale down on spending. There are more measures that have been put in place. But if you look at the raft of measures, additionally, government has indicated that it is going to renegotiate the energy sector independent power producers a bit. That is the capacity charges by the end of the third quarter of the year. And that, hopefully, will reduce excess capacity payments by 20%. And that is hoped to generate a total savings of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. Mind you, the total figure is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. So that is quite a component in there. You look again at point 8, there's talk of imposing another moratorium on the establishment of new public sector institutions by the end of April 2022. What that means is that no new public sector institutions will be brought to bear following from April this year. And again, there is a move to prioritize ongoing public projects over new projects. So instead of starting new ones, there will be an attempt to prioritize the old ones. And finally, ministers and heads of SOEs, state-owned enterprises, will be contributing 30% of their salaries from April to December 2022. Well, let's take it over from here. Ernest Kojomenu is somewhere out and about.
Some reliefs with regards to the increase in fuel prices, which would then affect transport fares, which is very keen to for many Ghanaians here. And so we are here at the taxi rank inside the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. We'll speak to a few people to find out what they make of some of the measures that has been announced, especially the 15% reduction in fuel prices. Let me speak to some of them here. Good morning. You're live on Joy News. What do you make of the measures announced by the Finance Minister?
Actually, I have no idea about what's happening.
You have no idea. 15% have been taken off the fuel prices. What do you make of that?
Is it affecting the fare right now? Because we are still paying the usual one. Yeah. Since the increments, that's what we are still paying right now.
That won't be immediate. But do you think the margin is good enough?
15 pesos. Yes. So I think that's very low. You could have increased it quite higher than what we have right now, like 15%. Okay. Yeah.
There were other measures as well. Government is cutting down on expenditure. Altogether, it hopes to save about 3.5 billion cedis to help the economy. There's a ban on travels. Fuel coupons are being reduced by almost 50%. Do you think these are good measures that will eventually help save the economy?
Well, it's going to be a very good thing, but if only the transport services, that's the drivers and those things, if they will affect the deduction, like they would reduce the transport, the fares. Okay. So, for instance, if the government reduces the thing maybe a certain percentage, usually these people will continue taking the usual fares. So if they will actually enforce and ensure that after the government has reduced it, it will also affect the normal one. I think that's going to be a good thing. But if we don't experience it as the citizens, then it's actually going to make no difference.
So clearly, Benjamin, it appears that fuel prices and its effect on transport is very keen for a lot of the people here. Let me speak to you briefly. Okay, so she says she's not interested because she didn't listen to the finance minister. Boss, thank you for joining us here on Joy News. Yesterday, I'm sure you listened to the finance minister. A number of measures introduced, 15 pesos taking off fuel margins. Government is cutting down on expenditure altogether, saving some 3.5 billion cedis to help the economy. A step in the right direction?
I think so. I think it's a step in the right direction. The 15 pesos reduction isn't enough, but I think as time goes on, there will be a massive reduction in the fuel price.
And government also has placed a ban on foreign travels. There's also a cut in fuel coupons by up to 50%. These are all measures that government has announced to make sure that it saves the economy from collapse, from imminent collapse. You think that these are pragmatic measures that will eventually, bring the results that we all desire?
I think so. I think all these measures are going to help us at least reduce some expenditure from what is happening in the country now. I think from now the country has been, the hardship is too much, and this reduction are going to, in a way, increase our income a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you very much. So a lot of them here are very much interested in the fuel, prices and its effect on transport. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My son is Pakwisiakom.
Okay. So what do you make of the measures announced by the finance minister yesterday?
Oh, my only problem is there's going to be fuel cut. Price on fuel. But the drivers will never, let the passengers enjoy it. They will give a lot of flimsy excuses.
They have already said that the 15 pesos is not enough.
Mm-hmm. So, at times, when such reductions come into effect, I don't find it worthwhile. You understand? The government want to help the citizens, so they must also try to sacrifice a little bit. From Circle to Accra, they are supposed to take two cedis, 30 pesos, but they are taking 2 cedis, 50 pesos. Okay. And when there is any increment again, they will base it on the 250. Okay. And these are some of the things the government should take cognizance of it. Okay. That's what I want.
Appointees are going to sacrifice up to 30% of their salary into the consolidated fund. What do you make of that?
That is a good example. Not only appointees, the chief executives, and most of them, some are even receiving higher salary than the president. And I don't think it augurs well at all. They must all try to sacrifice.
So ultimately, 3.5 billion cedis government is looking to save by these measures. You have faith, you have confidence that this will eventually bring us some relief?
Somehow, but if we don't take care, those who try to, you are putting money in a basket. Now, there is a big hole on the money will come, but people will siphon it. That's the problem that persists in Ghana.
So we need to block the leakage?
Yes. And they know how to do it. Only they are reluctant to do it. That's the problem.
Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to us. He's speaking on the number of issues announced by the finance minister yesterday. He's quite confident that ultimately, if these measures are put in place, then we may see the results that we all desire. But ultimately, he's asking that fuel prices, the marginal reduction that we've heard from the finance minister announced must reflect in the cost of transportation as well. Let's speak to a few other people and see what they make of the. Good morning, sir. You're live on Joy News. Yesterday, the finance minister announced a number of measures to help, save the economy from collapse. I'm sure for you, the margins that have been taken off fuel prices is of keen interest.
To me, if you look at this situation that we are, the amount of money or the amount of reduction they are talking of does not even really going to save anything. Because if you look at the increment of this transportation, this reduction will not even bring out any result to show that the transportation people or the drivers and these people will reduce to the extent that we, as an ordinary person who earn just small, will live with this amount of money reduction. So to me, if they can do anything, in order, I've heard that they said they're going to do reduction or pay cut of these government appointees.
Up to 30%.
Yes, I think that one would be the best. I can imagine me earning amount of 500 cedi at the end of the month, paying taxes, and somebody earning amount of over 8,000 cedis a month. Would I even pay tax? Would I even pay anything? You can imagine that. So sometimes I only feel like this, our country, we are really suffering.
So you think that is a good step, a step in the right direction?
The one that is good is the one that they are going to cut the government appointees, their salary to 30%. I think that one will help. And the fuel reduction, they should do something about it. The amount, the 50 pesos or whatever that they did, is not enough. Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. And so, Benjamin, it's very clear that fuel prices is of keen interest for a lot of people we are speaking to here at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. And so these are some of the views that we've gathered so far from here at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange on the number of measures announced by the finance minister yesterday to help save the economy. And for Mr. Akon, who we spoke to, it will be important to block the leakages besides all the measures that we have put in place that he believes will help bring the results that we all desire. Benjamin, take it away.
Ernest Kojomenu from the streets of Circle bringing us the details right there. Thank you very much, Ernest. Well, you can see us, we are rocking the shirt of the Black Stars, and that is our very next conversation. World Cup qualifier. Ghana hosts Nigeria later today at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Question is, how will things pan out? Only time will tell, but we'll give you the scoop on the AM show right after the break.